Hi, welcome to my podcast, Becoming a Cut Flower Grower. I'm your host, Lydia, and I'm here to share my year of growing and selling cut flowers. I'll be giving you the lowdown on everything I'm doing and sharing all the highs and lows, the good times and the inevitable disasters, all in real time. Join me on my cut flower journey, starting right now. Hey, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited. I have to tell you this as soon as it happens. So yesterday I'm driving along the road and I did an emergency stop because I saw a mini digger in somebody's driveway in my village. And I went over to investigate because I have a very, very cunning plan that I want to share with you straight away. I have decided that I need to lift a whole bunch more turf really quickly because I just do not have space for everything that I've been growing. And I was told that I needed a turf cutter. Well, that's madness because my plot is in a field and it is not a lawn. It's really tumpy ground. There's a couple of ant hills. It's had cattle grazing on it in the past. So it is not a field where you can take a turf cutter. So I thought, I know what we need. We need a mini digger. So one of those tiny little things like a big JCB, only really, really small, like a little kid's toy. I love them. I think they're awesome. I'm dying to actually have a go on one. Anyway, they've got like a little bucket at the front and they can scrape turf off and clear soil and stuff. And I saw one on the side of the road yesterday. So I came to a screeching halt, got out, and the guy wasn't there. So the lady of the house gave me his details. Anyway, I've just got back from a job this morning and he was there. So I've done a more graceful stop today and went out to have a chat with him. And basically, he thinks he will have time to do it in the next few weeks, which is what I've said. He actually owns the mini digger, which is very exciting because if they're on hire, it's always a bit of a faff and they always end up charging you more money because they've got to go and get it, take it back, and it's all a big hoo-ha. But he actually owns this mini digger. He's a landscaper. Fantastic young guy who's just set up his own business. And he wants me to send some photos of the space that I want clearing. And I'm probably actually going to take a little video and then I can talk over it, which is my favorite thing. But in principle, he thought that he would be able to do it in the next few weeks for me. Didn't think it would be a full day's job, but it kind of depends how tumpy it is. And his rates are very reasonable. So even though I don't have any money, I'm going to spend the money that I've just been paid to pollard that tree that I did last week on doing this, because I think I will be able to get the money back in this growing season. Because I have just been sowing like a crazy person, and I guess maybe there was a part of my brain that thought more space will just come. If you grow it, you'll be able to find a home for it. Because I've been the way the plot is marked out at the moment, like the chickens used to be on it, and so there are fence panels up. And that's like the structure. And we've put all this special mesh down so the fox can't dig under the fence panels and stuff. And I've been growing my cut flowers this year inside that space. And the trial beds were in that space last year. And you know how it is, like when you construct something, that then becomes a limiting factor in a way. I hadn't really thought about going outside of the fence panels. I just thought, I'll just keep clearing space. You've heard me talk about this on all the episodes. I'll just keep lifting the turf. I'll just keep pinching little bits of space from here, there, and everywhere. And then I was in the greenhouse yesterday sowing seeds, and I thought, oh, out of interest, I'll just count how much of everything I've got. And do you know how much I've got? I have got, at the moment, as of yesterday afternoon, 1,698 seedlings. Plus a couple of trays of Nigella and Amaranthus where I scattered the seed in a really haphazard fashion, and they're now so close together I can't count them, just physically impossible. So I have a minimum of 1,698 seedlings, which is a staggering amount. And I'm obliged now. I feel like they're my family. I go and talk to them twice a day to do something sensible with them, to find a home for them. Now, if I could, this is a very rough calculation now, but if I could plant 25 seedlings per square meter, I would need 68 square meters. definitely don't have that at the moment. I mean, I managed to get sort of 10 square meters a couple of weeks ago, I think I told you about, and I was so proud of that. Well, that's just not even going to touch the sides, is it? So I was feeling obviously very overexcited yesterday, and I thought, yes, I'm going to go outside of the fence panels. How revolutionary is that? So I'm going to send some photos to this guy, and he's going to see when he can fit me in over the next couple of weeks. And I did say to him, because I'm quite a straightforward person, I'm quite an open communicator. I did say to him, look, I need you to be completely level with me. If you don't think you can do it, just tell me right now, or after you've seen the photos, and I will go and find another landscaper. Because if you commit to it and then you let me down, I'm then going to probably have to wait another month to find another landscaper, and it'll be too late. So I said to him, you've got to be completely straight with me. I'm not going to be upset either way. So I like to be really clear with people that I'm working with, so that everybody knows what the situation is. I don't like there to be any kind of confusion, or people feel like they can't say no. Like, I was once told years ago that a fast no is as good as a yes, and it's absolutely true. If someone just says no straight away, that's great, you can just move on. I hate having to sort of wait around for weeks for an answer. Like, I hate that. It's either you can do it or you can't. If you say yes, let's see when you can fit me in, and then you absolutely have to stick to it. And hopefully I can build a good enough relationship with him while we're doing all these negotiations that he doesn't feel like I'm somebody that he would just drop in it, because I don't know him. He's not from the area, but he seemed a nice person on first impressions, and that's always a really good indicator, isn't it, when you meet somebody? Because I met some guys last week. I also did an emergency stop last week to go and ask some guys about getting hold of some chipped bark to put down for pathways and stuff. And the guy I spoke to was just really kind of, I don't know, a bit miserable. There was no energy there. We didn't vibe at all. And needless to say, I haven't heard from them ever again. So, some people you just click with and others you don't. And that is fine. But we're not going to waste any energy on people that we don't vibe with. It's all about getting stuff done. So I'll keep you posted on that, which would be a real game changer. So if he is able to do it and clear what I want clearing, it's actually 200 square meters of cultivatable space, but I would put some pathways in between the beds, so it's not actually going to be 200 square meters of beds. But even so, it's a lot closer to what I need. And if he can do it in the next few weeks, then brilliant, because nothing's ready to go out yet that can't go in the beds that I already have. So that is hugely exciting. Now, if you were listening to Tuesday's episode, you'll know that I was heading off to see my Dahlia expert, Richard Bailey, and we had a very nice couple of hours together. He is about to start planting out his tubers, not his cuttings, his tubers. And he's got a very, very beautiful sheltered, I think it's west-facing garden. So very, very protected. His soil is super warm. I mean, we were kneeling on the grass at one point, hacksawing up some tubers, and the lawn just feels incredible. So he's fairly confident he can get his tubers out. Definitely not the cuttings, because they won't survive any cold weather. But he did say to me, do not plant your tubers out on the plot until all of the risk of frost is gone. So that is going to be the end of May for me to be on the safe side, because he has got the advantage that he can just run out if the weather changes and throw some fleece or anything like over his plants, whereas that will be a lot more difficult for me, and the plot is obviously a lot more exposed. So that was a caution there. So we took some cuttings of a plant of a dahlia called Laura Christina, which had put on quite a lot of growth for him. And so we were practicing. He's teaching me how to do cuttings. So he got me to do all of them this time, which is really stressful when you're actually taking cuttings from someone else's plant. Like, you really don't want to mess that up. And then we split this incredible dahlia that he's got called Just Married, which is a peachy, apricotty, pinky, yellowy, fimbriated dahlia. So the petals kind of twist over a little bit. Very, very beautiful. And he was kind enough to give me the two split halves, which was incredibly generous. I wasn't expecting that at all. So I've brought those guys home, and they will get potted up properly in the compost. What else did we do? Oh yes, he told me, he clarified something that we talked about on my last visit, which I told you about, which is when you take cuttings. Richard had said don't use cuttings if it has a hollow stem, because it means it won't make a tuber at the end of the season. But I clarified this with him yesterday because Laura Christina had a hollow stem when we took the tubers, and he said, okay, that's no good because it won't make a tuber at the end of the year. And I was like, well, what if we just kept it and just cut flowers from it, and then it's obviously not going to survive the winter because you'll lift it and there'll be no tubers to store, so no energy for the plant next year. You could just compost the plant. And he said, oh yeah, you could do that. So that's fine. So if anybody is out there taking cuttings and you find a hollow stem, you could still get that cutting to root, grow it on as a plant, plant it out, and then cut it for flowers, but then compost the plant at the end of the year because there isn't going to be anything to overwinter. I've been in the greenhouse. I've been sowing some more Orlia, Cosmos. I'm doing apricot lemonade this year. Some more Status, more zinnias, and more helichrysums. And recording it all in all my notebooks about the timings that it takes for me to do all of the sowing, and filling out this this chart that I told you that I'd made, which is actually proving to be really, really helpful so that I can clearly see what I have to do next. And some of the packets I've actually finished. So the Orlia's all gone, the Didiscus scabious, the calendulas, the helichrysums, and the Cosmos. The stocks all finished as well. Cephalaria and Sweet Pea Sea Mist and Achillea the Pearl were finished weeks ago. So I'm not going to replace those packets. They're all finished now. But I probably will do some more next week, and then I will probably finish, I think, for a while, because I am at the limit of my spatial capacity. So inside is completely full, and Richard Bailey also gave me half a dozen dahlias that he didn't want this year, that were no good for exhibiting but would be perfectly good for cut flowers. So I've got more of those guys. So it's getting increasingly difficult to actually find the floor in here, and it's like being in a jungle. And then all the windowsills have got seeds on. The greenhouse is maxed out in terms of seeds. So I think maybe I should just stop now and just concentrate on keeping everything going and making sure nobody's struggling. It's always really, really tempting to just keep sowing. But I think with 1,698 seedlings that are already up, and I should say that's only the ones that have stuck their heads over the top of the compost so that I could count them. I've still got probably 8 or 9 trays of things where you can't see, nothing's come up, so they haven't quite been counted. They're not guaranteed to be up. So I think that's probably enough of a commitment, really, just to get those guys developed and planted out successfully. Yeah, I think I should probably stop, but you know me, I might report back next week and you'll hear that I've done a whole load more stuff. What else do I have to tell you? I'm really enjoying your comments on my Instagram at Henhill Cut Flowers. I've had a couple of really nice comments this week on photos that I've put up, or the sweet pea planting out reel that I did. So I just love hearing from you guys. You have no idea how massive the grin on my face is when I see a comment from one of you, because it's I know you're all over the world and you're all doing different things, and I just blows my mind that you love the podcast, that you take the time out to visit the Instagram, and then you even take the time out to make a comment. I feel really, this is going to sound really woo, but I feel really connected to you, even though I don't know you. And I'm just absolutely thrilled that you are coming along on this journey with me. And I'm really enjoying looking at what you're doing as well. I think it's just an absolute blast, and I feel really lucky. And let's hope the enthusiasm and positivity continues with Mini Digger Man, and we'll get some turf lifted, and then we can really, really get these seedlings planted out and see what happens this year. So that is me for today. Lots and lots of things to think about there. Did I want to say anything else? No, I think that was everything that I wanted to say. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We're due a bit more rain on Saturday, which is very exciting. My water bowsers are filling back up after my disaster last week, thank goodness. And everything is doing fine out there. So I hope things are working out for you, wherever you're growing and whatever you're growing. And have a wonderful weekend. And I will catch up with you next week.